short-term courses and training programs designed to help you unlock your potential and achieve your career goals. Today's session on effective English teaching for PRT is a comprehensive program that develops effective English teaching methods. It covers key areas such as language and linguistic, teaching methodologies, lesson planning, and communication skills. A special welcome to our esteemed trainer, Ms. Bharti Mohan, a seasoned trainer and consultant with over 25 years of experience in the field of education, to share her knowledge and insights. Yeah, welcome, Ms. Bharti Mohan.
Thank you. Good evening, one and all. I'm Bharati. I started my career with the Montessori training and Montessori students. So I would just share my knowledge. It's not like I'm just going to teach you anything. I'm just going to share the knowledge like over so many years, what I have come across. So first, like as our the thing says, subject knowledge. So before going to subject knowledge, I would just like you all to tell me, are you all from PRT or a lower primary or the upper primary, or from the pre-primary? Can you just quickly type in the chat box to which uh, session or which sector do you belong to in your school?
PRT. Nithya ji is writing PRT.
PRT. Yeah, thank you, Nitya. So you'll be handling the upper primary, right?
You can unmute yourself also and then say.
Yeah, you can speak also. There's no problem.
Please.
Yes, we have more PRTs here. So when we talk about having a strong subject knowledge, what do you think subject knowledge really means? What even just speak out? Like, what is a strong subject knowledge? Maybe like whether it is your science subject or maths or English. What do you mean by strong subject knowledge?
Ms. Manjusha, you want to say something?
Yes, Manjusha? Okay, strong subject knowledge. When I say strong subject knowledge, it doesn't mean everyone should have a PhD in that subject or something like that. It is like we just know the core facts, the skills, and the concept of the subject. Example, when we talk about English, the grammar, the vocabulary, or maybe the phonics, or in maths, the number sense, how do we operate it, the problem solving, such things, like, slightly understanding the big picture of the subject. Like how in today's topic, like we can just connect before or after. And like if at all, for example, like, in the class, we often have the word THE. You would be having some children pronouncing it as D and the. What is the correct pronunciation? Then they might say, like, then how do we go about it? What is the correct pronunciation for THE, the word THE? Anyone would like to speak on that? Yes? You can just unmute and you can speak on. How do you pronounce the word THE? Is it pronounced as D or is it pronounced as the?
The, madam.
Good
The?
evening, ma'am.
Good
Good
evening.
evening, ma'am. We
Yes.
can pronounce it the and the both way.
Yes, very good. Where do we pronounce it as the and where do we pronounce it as the?
Ma'am, before vowels A, E, I, O, U, we pronounce the, and on another, we pronounce it the.
Fantastic. So that is what
Thank you.
whenever we say uh, the oranges and the book. So right from the beginning, such things when we start uh, talking about to the children, so it would be easier, right? So like so even when the children come up, so these are the small nuances, like when children they say, ma'am, this boy is pronouncing it like that, he is wrong, or this boy is pronouncing it as that, he is wrong. So we can just correct them, because so this is where the subject knowledge on the pronunciation really matters. And so is with the math. When you go about maths, like how do we tell them certain tricks, like this is when we talk about 90 for the spelling names, how do we write the numbers? So all those things we just tell them certain things. So when we have this ability to simplify certain things and explain, and we break down certain complex ideas into simple, and we tell them in a very child-friendly explanation, like suppose usually in our times we have all whenever there was either borrowing, when Max, when do we do this borrowing? Can someone tell on that? When we subtract and we don't have the proper number in that place, then we borrow, isn't it? Yes?
Regrouping. Regrouping, we can tell
Yeah.
them without,
So we
instead
borrow.
of
In
borrowing.
subtraction, we teach borrowing. Is there any other way people, instead of borrowing, you use some other way?
Regrouping, ma'am.
Huh? Regrouping. Okay. How do you regroup
Regrouping, we
it?
can say.
Suppose,
Regrouping means,
for
ma'am, instead of borrowing, we can use that word regrouping and we can explain them further.
Okay. I'll tell you another thing. Like, mathematics is basically a subject like where you have, it's a value base. We also inculcate values in that. So suppose we say, you have a number, 11, and you are going to subtract 9. So when you put 9 there, and then in the ones place you have 1 and you have 9. So usually what I do when I used to teach, and I don't say now this one is smaller, so it goes and borrows it there. Then I say, in this one's place, uh, 9 friends have come, and this one doesn't have much resources, maybe snacks or things like that. So it was really worried. So the neighbor saw, why is this one worried? So immediately he just gives the pack of 10. So now this has got 11. Hmm? So now out of 11, 9 goes. So instead of telling them borrow one from there, I used to say it has just given it to the neighbor. That is sharing and caring for the neighbor. So that way you just rephrase the same thing. So that way you also give a value like caring. Like that, we just simplify and we explain them. And apart from that, in the subject knowledge, we should also have the curriculum awareness. We should know what the children are expected to learn at each stage. What is the learning outcome and what is the standard syllabus? So sometimes we should not go out of the syllabus, but at the same time beyond something we give, and we are also somewhere we are confident, we develop confidence and the flexibility also there, and we try to link across the subjects. For we connect it with drawing, or we use stories for any language or science or mathematics, and we give them the practice of patterns, say sequencing. So all this, when we make the subject making the knowledge somewhere more relevant to the real life. So that way, we talk about this knowledge, where it has to be really good. So in short, the subject knowledge means not only knowing the subject well, but also knowing how a child can get it fast, how a child can learn it. Because in our times, we all learned the way the teacher wanted to teach. But nowadays, every child is different. Someone is really auditory, someone is visual, someone is kinesthetic. So what we do, we teach the same thing in various ways where the children try to grasp it, where they learn in a better way. At the same time, like when we have a child in a class, because nowadays there are two things. One, the school, the parent, when they send their children to school and they pay a high fees, then their parents think, when I'm paying so much fees, why should I take care of it? It's all the teacher's headache. Or maybe there's another type where the parents, they don't have time. Both the parents are working. We don't have any more joint families. We have only the nuclear families. They don't have parents. They don't have time. And again, like when the children get up in the morning, they come to us, they go home, and by the time their parents return, they are totally exhausted. So literally for 1 year, we only adopt these children, and these children are with us. So we need to be very much careful, and we need to take care of these children. So we also have to teach not only the subject, but we also have to teach the values. So the value in we talk about soft skills. The We talk about teaching them empathy and things like that. But unless and until we teach them empathy, we don't have the children to learn the civic sense. Unless and until we teach them, like, you have to be independent. Certain work, you have to do it yourself. Hmm? So that is what only civic sense, like, not to throw the garbage at the floor, in the road, or to clean, if you in the restaurant, like, you have to clean your table, your mess, you have to clean and leave it, or all these things are the civic sense which we have to tell. So this, apart from here, when I talk about the subject knowledge, it's not only we teach the children, certain time we ourselves, we have to mold ourselves in such a way, like children, they see us and learn more. So when it comes to, we always show the magic words, please, sorry, thank you, and all. And more than telling them these are the magic words, sometimes, especially when we are in the lower primary, that is pre-primary or the lower primary, children, they see us and learn more rather than we teaching them. So when they see us, like when we have lunch in the class, we spread a napkin and then we have a lunch. And suppose certain things, maybe if it is fallen down or water is spilled, we just wipe it off instead of calling the auntie or the ayama. So what happens? Then we tell the children, if they have spilled the water, clear it themselves. Like when we just see places like Japan and all, they don't have janitors there. Children learn, and these are the life skills. And this way, what happens? They try to respect everyone and every job. They don't try to differentiate the job and all. So these things are the values where, apart from the subject knowledge, our own, the way we are in the class, that also matters. So this is where we have this pedagogy, like, it really makes sense, where we use various friendly methods of storytelling, rhymes, flashcards, and this. Apart from this, on top of this, like, our behavior all in the class or in the school also matters. So that is where they also learn. They start linking to the real life situation. And if we hit someone by mistake, or if uh, Children also, they are talking and we say, excuse me, I would like to say something. I want you to be quiet. And similarly, when we are talking and children, they come in between and we say, please, I'm talking. You just have to wait. Certain rules and regulations. Very politely, we start doing it. So these are all the practice. And this practice makes them to follow it, not only in the school, but at home also you can see them practicing it. And sometimes certain things, uh, we can't correct the elders, but through children, they can be corrected. Like, for example, like when we teach them the maybe the traffic signals. This I have really experienced in my class, like when I was teaching. And I used to tell, you are not supposed to go out without, or you are not supposed to ride a two-wheeler without a helmet, because you have to be safe. Only then and we used to have those practice where children, they are on the road wearing helmets, they use only the zebra crossing and all those things. We had that as an activity. And finally, I would hear the parents coming in the PTA and telling, ma'am, like if I take up the mobile phone, immediately my son says, you have to stop, park your vehicle in the side, speak, because while driving or riding the bike, you're not supposed to speak. So we have to tell. And these, through children, you can also not only teach children, you can also correct or make the parents change their attitude. So when we have these children, and like, if a teacher wants to do, she really can do, make wonders in the lives of the children, because uh, we have taken a role, like, a teacher. Like we can create a doctor, we can create all professions for that matter. Whereas a doctor can cure the one who is sick, or the lawyer when can work only on the law and order. But when it comes to a teacher, we create everyone, and we don't see, like, maybe they would pick up certain things. Like even a person who makes ice cream, he would just pick up a certain quality of milk, maybe a full cream milk or this. But for us, whoever comes to us, we just mold them. So that is the capacity, or that is the power we teachers have. So classroom management and classroom management. How is it a classroom management? What do you usually do in the classroom management? Can we just have a discussion on that? Yeah. How do you manage the classroom, especially the primary, lower primary, and the 3, 4, 5, the primary classes? Any special things which you have seen, or any things where you have found it is difficult for you? Any issues you faced in classroom management, or something really worked and you would like to share? Yes?
Teachers are writing in the chat box,
Yeah.
keeping them engaging students.
Yeah, keeping them engaged. Yeah, that's very good. How do you keep them engaged? I will tell you, the first day, like, in the month of June or July, when we have a class, if we set up certain rules, yes, we also have activities. Yet, first thing, we can set up certain rules. Like we will not, we will always, we'll put only the positive things. Like we will walk in the class, whichever is unwanted, we will use dustbin and we'll put it there. We'll not make our classroom dirty. And if we wanted to say something, we will raise our hand and we will wait for our turn. When two people are talking, we don't shout in the class. And we don't raise our voice, or we don't fight. We are always friendly. we are friendly in the class. Certain things, 5 or 6 uh, statements we make, and you can tell all the children, including you, as a contract, you sign it and put that in the class. And if at all a child tucks or a child fights, you can say, we are supposed to be friendly. We are not supposed to raise our voice and shout at each other. We have to wait, raise our hands, and we need to wait for our turn. So all these things, you remind them, you tell them. So you need not scold. Remember, we have a contract, and we also follow that. So that way, what happens? Our classroom, the decibel in our classroom is maintained. Neither the teacher needs to shout and spoil her voice, nor the children. So, and it's all the classroom. They say, oh, the class is so dirty. What happened? See, look at our contract. We will keep our class clean. And you just bend and take up one paper and put it in the dustbin. You will have all the 30 doing it. So certain things. So you just make this setting a very simple and clear rules. These are the rules in a class. And the children will follow. So that is going to be, so that is one way. And apart from that, you can also say no vernacular language. I want everyone to converse only in English. So that way, it will really help. Because once you tell them you have to speak only in English, one is the thing is the talking would be reduced, and similarly, you'll have the class control. So when you have this contract, you will have a positive reinforcement, and you need not be very harsh in maintaining disciplines or something like that. And then again, when you are taking up a lesson, you have to be very interactive to avoid restlessness, because what is a concentration part, or how many minutes can a child of maybe a pre-primary or a primary concentrate? Yes? Can anyone type in the chat box how many minutes a child can concentrate? Maximum concentration. Can a child concentrate for all the 40 minutes? Yes? Any answers? How many minutes can a child concentrate?
I think 6 minutes, 6 to 7 minutes is the duration as per the research.
That is for a pre-KG children. It is actually 12 minutes.
Okay.
Class 5 child can concentrate for 12 minutes. So then what happens? Then we need to keep on changing the activities so that, and every child is different. Someone, someone is auditory, someone is visual. And again, maybe in our times, we had a idea, or we had a practice of listening to radios and things like that. Nowadays, the listening is totally not there. Children, they don't listen, right? So everyone is visual. So you have to show them videos, and again, they can't concentrate. Then you have to, like it said, you show them something, they can remember a bit. You tell them something, certain things they can remember. But when you start involving the children in the activities, they can remember most of it, and they will not forget if you just make them involved. So you can have everything. You can just have hands-on experience. You can just make them to do things on that. So like maybe if you're just taking up a activity first, for example, you are taking up a story, you can tell them any lesson. When we start, first show them a picture and you tell them to predict. Then you can say this is all a prediction. Then you can tell them this is what, like there should be something new. Like suppose, you wanted to introduce addition to the children. So like maybe you can take bits of paper and jam clip and join them together and say, what is happening? I'm just adding everything together. I'm putting everything together. I'm joining everything together. And similarly, we are just going to learn with the numbers. Then you can use pebbles, stars, and things like that. And same when you're doing with English, you can tell them as a story. You can tell them what is the setting. You can um, tell them what is the activities, various activities you can just create, and you can just start like, this is a picture. Now, what do you think this is happening? Who do you think is the hero? You can brainstorm the words, and sometimes you can say, like, this in an English, this is the word grandfather. So, in your mother tongue, what do you call a grandfather as, or what do you call your grand? So this way, when everyone starts saying, suppose we say Peter went to his grandfather's house, then grandfather's house in Goa. Then you can ask each and every child, where is your grandfather's house? Where is your grandfather's house? How do you call your grandfather? How do you call your grandmother? So this way, the children will come to know, and they will start respecting other culture, other language also. They will start uh, getting along with it. They will not make fun of other language or things like that. They start accepting it. They start appreciating it. Then they will say, like, in our English period, I heard this boy saying, like, he calls his grandfather like this, he calls his grandmother like this. And then that way, children learn various languages. And so this way, like, and every time, like, especially as a class teacher, we, it's always better when a child comes to us, we start observing the child and we come to a conclusion. But usually our teacher mentality, when if a second standard teacher, I've got a class, I'll say, oh, first standard, the child was in your class. How is this child? How is this parent? Then she'll say, the boy is good, but the parents are fussy. The very good parents, the child is slightly slow. All those things, don't take all these judgment from the other teachers. You start observing, you come to a conclusion, you take your own judgment. You don't rely on the other judgments. And again, how do you, in every class, we do have some children, uh, who are differently abled. Isn't it? You must be having differently abled children in your class, right? Do you have differently abled children who is a bit autistic, ADHD, dyslexic? Do you have differently abled children?
I
Yes,
think
teacher?
that's a different school for those kids, na?
No,
We,
no. CBSE tells 5% of these children, or if these children, they don't have too much of issues, they can work in the mainstream.
some are slow learners, but they are not, slow learners can't be categorized in that, na?
No, slow learners, we call them as late bloomers. And we also have little ADHD problem, little children, small children with a slight hyperactive. Those children are, we will be having in our mainstream. Or sometimes we also have children who are differently abled, in the sense they might be a left-hander. So then we have to take care of that children to give them in the space on the side. So all these things, as a teacher, we just have to take care of. Like, we just have to manage them. First, we have to see to it, like, these children, we have to put them first. We have to tell them, like, they should be included in the class. We have to have yes, you have an ADHD. Chaitra has written she has an ADHD student in the class. So Chaitra, how do you manage that child in the class? Can you just what are the problems you face and how do you manage? Chaitra, would you like to share? Chaitra, you can unmute and you can speak, Chaitra.
Chatra ji, you want to say something? Seema ji, Ruchi ji?
Amandeep Kaur. Yes.
Do we have some questions from any teacher or any suggestion?
Okay. What do you usually do if you have a child? First thing, we have to make the child feel safe, valued in the class, and he is also a part of the same class. And so what happens when we start telling them, and the students then finally at one stage, other children also start, they don't bully them or they don't make fun of such children, they also start taking care of that child. So if a teacher is not there, some other teacher comes, then they say, ma'am, this boy is slow, ma'am, so you have to work like this or something. The children start guiding the new teacher who comes in that place to take care of that child, isn't it? Yeah, we shouldn't make them get angry. That is what like when we don't have to, these children, they get angry only when they are bullied, otherwise they are quiet. So what do we say? We have to tell the class to accept them. They say, we have to say everyone is special, everyone has. So like if we search, we do get various stories on children who are disabled and all those things. So we have to tell them and we have to accept them in the class. Then we should have certain strategies for differently able, like, if they have physically disability, we have to see like they sit where the access is very much easy. Nowadays, like we also have children who are diabetic in class second, fourth, and also we have to see to it like they sit in the corner place. So like if they wanted to access the restroom or whenever they want, they can easily they can go. So all these things we just see, and we also give them, encourage them to and we also keep some peer to support them, and we just give them activities how they are getting along. If they have dyslexic or something like that, we use colors and we write it on the thing. Then we see to it our word walls have certain words which helps the children to get it. And we also, when we give them instructions, or for the whole class, when we give them the instructions, we don't give them in a long sentence. We break it down and we give them small instructions so that everyone gets it. And we use multisensory teaching. That is, we use visual, hands-on, oral, and we see where these children can get up. And similarly, when we are at times, we write in our teacher's notebook or something, and we give that to the children to copy. Or if some children couldn't see the blackboard from the back, we just see to it. They come and sit forward, or they are very close to the board. So all these things we just
Bharti ji, Chatra ji
yeah,
has some query in the chat box.
yes.
She is saying
No,
left-handers are not.
yes, left-handers, we don't call them differently abled. Of course, I do apologize for that. It is like, why I said is like, we just have to see to it. We have to put these children in the side to sit. Exactly, I do get it. I apologize for that. And then even so we just give them the place like that. Um, that was actually my thing. So and left-handers is something like, it is just uh, as good as uh, the right-handers, because they are, and it's your right brain, left brain. They are more creative, and it's they take it up. So the only challenge is actually the class where you have three people sitting, so you need to put them on the corner so that they don't get any disturbance in writing. So that was my main idea. So I do apologize for that. And like when the children are dyslexic, we give extra time, and we also make some, if at all possible, we make a different question paper for them where they get certain places where if they were visually very good, we just give them all those things. So these are the certain strategies which we need to follow. And we also have some behavioral issues, students with behavioral issue also. So there we have to see, like, these children are not bullied in the class, and they might have some issues at home, maybe like from the family, they might have some issues when the child is emotionally disturbed. So we have to see for that, all those social issues and all. We just work with them. We talk to the children. So these things we can just find out maybe in the first stages, like, when we can tell them, children, to draw their family. So the way they draw, you can make it out what is it, the problems they have. Like some children might uh, draw the family, they might draw only a mother or a father. Then you can just find out from the records, like, what is the background of such children. And and these children get emotionally disturbed, especially like in the lower classes when we take lessons on family, my father, my mother. So we need to be very careful. And even on activities when we plan, so we have to plan accordingly, because that time the children, they really get very much disturbed. Then after every class, it's always better as a classroom management. After every class, we just start getting a constructive feedback from the children. When we talk about the constructive feedback, usually, like, whenever a teacher goes to a class or she comes from a class, children tend to write small, small they make cards out of those notebook papers saying, "Ma'am, I like you. Ma'am, I like your dress." So we can always make it very creative and positive. We can tell them what part of the lesson today they liked. Like, we can just tell them what did they learn today. Hmm? What was very easy, what was very difficult. So one line or one word they start. So this way they learn to write, as well as, like, we also know how our children, where they are finding it easy, and we will have a proper assessment. So when we manage all these, so this plays a vital role in the classroom management. Now, when we talk about the assessment, what are the different ways of assessing the students in the class? What are the different ways of assessment in the class? Do we always have a test?
They
are
are
the different
writing in
ways?
the chat box, asking other questions.
We give them
One-on-one
dictation.
reading and writing checks.
By their
One-on-one
imagination, yes, Imaji.
one-on-one reading and writing checks. Creative
Yes.
expression tasks.
Hmm.
Observational assessment.
Hmm.
Oral quizzes and rapid recalls.
Yeah.
Peer interaction, group work.
Hmm.
Expression and reflection, and play-based assessments.
Yes, lovely. Great. So when we talk about this assessment, uh, especially like when we talk about this dictation, what are the creative ways of giving dictation? One is we call the word, usually we call the word, and the students, they write, right? Any other type of dictation?
Fill in the blanks type.
Yeah. You can divide, suppose you are giving a paragraph. It's actually a difficult this thing. Teachers need to work a bit. So you can just make your dictation as paper A and paper B, right? So in paper A, you can take out few words, make it as dashes, and you have few dashes in B. So like maybe in the first para, you will have few dashes in A, which B has to read it out and A has to listen and fill in those dashes. And in the second, A has to read it out and B has to write. So this would be this way, the reading of the children is also, unscrambled words, guess the words by telling the meaning. Yes. And then you can also have running dictation. Like, you can divide the children into small groups and you can just give them numbers. Then you can say, the moment they pick up one number, your clue is under the chair. They read that and they go and take it from the chair. Maybe you have what is the opposite of coming is written. Then they have to write that word. So all those things, running dictation. So they just run. Sometimes you can also divide them into groups, or maybe you call a child. The child comes running to you. You tell the word in the ears of the child, or you show a chit to the child. The child reads the word, and the child gives the dictation. He tells the word. Then maybe like, first you can have roll number 1. Ankita comes running to you and she just picks up a paper. She reads the word cloud and she goes back. And then after that, the second one, maybe Bhargav comes. Bhargav takes up the second word and Bhargav says it is honesty. And then the whole class writes. Then Chaitra comes, roll number 3. She picks up the word and so this way, what happens, we also have the reading, the child's ability of reading. And this way, the child also gets the confidence, like I told this word to the class. So you also develop. So these are the various ways of having dictation. And like we can also have telling a story. So all those things we can have activities of promoting reading, or you can have a reading club. So how do you encourage reading in students? Yeah. What all you do for reading?
Create cozy reading corners.
Yes, lovely. You can have a classroom library. Yes.
Story
That's
plus
very
art
good.
connection.
Yes, good. Lovely.
Label the classroom can also help them out in reading
Yes.
part.
Lovely. Great.
Integrate
Then?
reading into every subject.
Good. You can start a reading club. Like maybe, you can tell them one Saturday or something like that. You can give them a storybook to every child. They can read and they pick up one character. Suppose they are reading Snow White. Maybe that day you can say that child dresses up as a character, maybe as a Snow White or Snow White's father or a Snow White's mother, and the child reads it out, right? Uh, Dresses up at that character and starts reading. So that is a way of reading. Then sometimes you can tell them a story. Maybe you can tell them the beginning, you can tell them the middle, and tell them, if you want to know the end, you need to read the story and come and discuss in the class. So that you can tell them. And you can also tell them, you read the stories and tell me what are the different parts in the story, who are the characters in the story. That thing you can ask them. And you can also ask them to give a different end. You can tell them now, read the story and give a different end to the story. Suppose you can give them any, maybe for example, you are giving a story of a thirsty crow, right? So this thirsty crow was just picked up the pebbles and the water came up and the crow drank the water. Now change the end of the story. Then the children come up with a different end. The crow just puts the leg in and tilts the pitcher and then drinks the water or things like that. So they give a different ending. Maybe the crow and the cheese. The crow started to sing and the cheese fell down. Oh no, the crow was very smart. The crow just folded the cheese in between its leg and started to sing. And like that, you can just have various things. So like you can also tell them to enact the story, or sometimes you can tell them to read a story and conduct quiz in that, where they need to answer. So all these things can be there for the reading arrangement. And we can just encourage, you just have to work on that. Then we can have a read aloud series. You can tell them to read for the peers. You just read and he takes the notes and he reads the next. You can have storytelling, role plays can be done. You can connect, you can tell them a story and tell them to connect with that, with their regular with the activity, like with the daily life, what it is, how are things happening. So that can be done in the reading. You can motivate them to read as many books and tell them to read a book and discuss about it, or they can write a book review. After reading the book, they will just give you a book review. And you can ask them, what do you recommend this book to other friends? Like all those things. Then after reading, you can also have some art activities in that. Create the front picture. Now create a book front cover of this. You can have all those draw a small scene from the book. You can give them a small dialogue, or maybe you can give them a picture and tell them to write a dialogue. So all these activities can be done when it comes, so that, because reading is something where we need to encourage these days, because children, they have lost the habit of reading. Why? Because nowadays even parents, they don't have time. They are all in, they have more of the screen time. So the reading is lost at the home. So maybe in the PTA, you can tell the parents to read a story and read a bedtime story. So all these things. And even if we are in a school which is in the place where we have first generation learners, or we feel if the parents, they are not they are unable to read an English book. If a parents complain, I can't read an English book, you can say reading has to be promoted. So you can read a book in your own mother tongue. So like all you have to do is you just read out a storybook, and after every small paragraph, ask questions from that. So the child learns to comprehend, be it English or their mother tongue. The learning has to take place. So the thinking develops, the child starts comprehending. Then the bond between the parents and the children also develops, which is really lacking nowadays.
काळी मिरची म्हणजे काली मिरची हे.
Yeah.
Krishna ji, you want to say something?
So all this way, we can really develop reading habits. So this is where we really have to have it. So like even especially when we give homeworks. So instead of giving them homeworks where parents send them to a tuition center, so make uh, we can give homework in such a way like children try to spend time with their parents, and it is more creative. Like we can just tell them, give them homework like uh, talk to a eldest person in your family, be it a father or a grandfather, and ask them what is their favorite book, what do they like to do it when they were of your age, what was their uh, favorite game, or what they used to do, who was their friend, how did they play with the friend. A question like that where the child goes and interact with the family members, they talk to them. So and like how did they celebrate, like you can go and ask your grandfather how at your age how did he celebrated the birthday or things like that. Like ask your father like how he does saving money, like so all these things. So this way the child tends to talk with the parents, and the parents also answers. So this way the quality time and the learning happens. Maybe like suppose we are teaching a maths or maybe science, like we say today you just find it out like how much vegetables you purchase for 100 rupees. So like what is the how much each vegetable weight, or how much they get for the family, and what is the total they spend on buying vegetables for today, for a day or something. Some questions like that. So where the child learns and here he learns addition, or 500 rupees how he spent, how his father spends at various things, how he spends for the family. So when you give them a question, so every child will come up with an answer or question. So this way the children tend to learn, and at the same time they need not go to a tuition center or somewhere and do a monotonous writing, because they're literally like the comprehend doesn't take place, but the tuition teacher has to show it to the parents the child has written so much. So she will just say this, copy it 3 times, write it 3 times, write it 4 times. So that will not be there. So there will be more interaction. So when we give them homeworks, we have to be very particular. Like you can say today you can go with your father to buy to a vegetable shop, or go with your parent to a vegetable shop and find out what are the root vegetables there, what are the leaf vegetables there, and you just note it down. Or anything like today you just go for a movie with your family, or go to a hotel and just design a menu card, and what is your favorite dishes, or the dishes which your father ordered or something like that. So this way the child is more creative. He learns the vocabulary like menu card, ordering food. So it is more on the real life. So the child learns on the real life, as well as the learning happens, and staying with the parent and the family bonding also happens. Now, any questions we have just done so far? Any questions, please? Any questions? Any questions?
Marti ji, we can move ahead. If they have something, they will write or unmute themselves.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
how many of you have circle time in your classrooms? Circle time. And how do
Venugopalji
you?
is writing how to deal with playful kids.
Yes,
That
dealing with playful kids. Actually, children are actually all children are very playful. Some children they just actually nowadays it is basically children they get a place to run is only the classroom. The reason because all the houses have turned into apartments, so they don't have. And in the apartments you have maybe a there won't be a you'll have a sofa which is worth for a few lakhs or maybe a big Android TV. So the children are not allowed to run at home. They are totally, literally scared to run around. So when they come to school, and teachers are not supposed to give corporal punishments and things like that. So it's this place where you know, uh, teachers, they also tend to mistake of calling these children hyperactive. These children are not hyperactive. It is only the place where they feel free is the school. So they start running. So the children, you can give them some responsibilities. You can give some activities. You say you just do that because, and at the same time, we make them understand like I don't have any issues you running around, but the classroom is cramped. I want you to be safe. Why I tell you not to run, just walk, is not because I don't like your running. I will take you to out for playtime. In the playtime, please, you are given all the, this is where our first, the contract, what we write, it really works. We tell them, it's, I don't have any problem you running, but I want you to be safe. I don't want you to get hurt. That is the reason. So please just don't run and you can sit in the class and I'll take you. I'll see to it you are given a time where you can run
or
around.
we
That is
can,
the class.
Bharti ji, we can give them responsibilities like we
Yeah,
can make them
responsibility.
monitor and head of the class.
Yeah, that of course they work. But sometimes these when the children are running, they don't have patience also to take the responsibility all the time. Maybe they feel very happy, maybe once or twice, but every time, then they feel why I'm given this. They are not ready to take it up also. So like we have to speak to them. We tell them the separate time would be given for you where you can run. So that really works. And again we give them you just for these children we tend to have some activities like this running dictation. So you say yeah today since you are running a lot, please don't simply run. So what you will do, you will just run around the class and you have to go and take a chit and read it. You have to give read it out. So that way they feel very much wanted in the class. They do that. So that really helps with these children. And circle time. Now, circle time is a time that really helps. It's a very good bond between the teacher and the children. And circle time is something we really have it. We should have it daily to know the children better. And also at the same time, you should see to it, we also have learning take place in the circle time. So in the circle time, it is actually a very powerful classroom management. But why we say circle time? Because circle time is a place where all, including the teacher, everyone sits in a circle. And there is no distinguish between anyone. There's no, everyone is same. And we should set a rule like this in this circle time, everyone is allowed to talk. Maybe you can have you can say today's circle time, we have a talking hat. So you can have a hat or a cap, and the person who wears that cap, only that person talks. Next day, we can have a talking pen. The person who holds the pen, only that person talks. Today, we have a talking stick. So every day, we have a different item. So one who's having that, only that person speaks. So it's a structured session where everyone sits in a circle and to show like equality is there. So the teacher here doesn't scold the child. They have got all the right to speak. So you can just ask them, what did you like in the class today? So first, so we can just say, we can hold the hands together and we can just say hello to everyone, and then we can start. What did you like today was one question, and then we can, here the child might say, I like this very much. And sometimes they'll say, and what you did not like today. Then they'll say, maybe today Sonu did hit me or took my pen without permission. I did not like it. So when you finish that, so finally at the end, you can see that boy who's Sonu who has taken the pen, he will say sorry, right? And then sometimes they might also say, today, ma'am did not give me chance to speak. I did not like it, but I did raise my hand and I was not asked. So then you can also make it a point. Oh, did you raise the hand? I'm very sorry. I left it. Now, tomorrow I'll see to it. I'll give you the chance. So this way, what happens? The class bonding is there, and the children grow with confidence, and they also learn the voice to voice it out. They are in the safe environment, and if they have any issues, the trust is built, and they speak out. So here it really plays a vital role. So we can also have this like when the students are new, probably to know them better, because and it's always good to address the children by their name. Instead of saying A, you, next, oh, that boy, this boy. And by the time the class comes to you, maximum 3 days, we should know all our students by their name. And how is it possible? Then the circle time really helps. So for the 3 days, we can just have circle time during the classroom activity in the morning, where we can say, hello, my name is this. I will clap my hands and say my name. I will sing, like, I can say, hello, my name is Bharati. I will clap my hands and say my name, Bharati. I will sing my name, Bharati. So this way, what happens? We also tend to remember certain names, because the way the child must have clapped, or the way, and maybe in the later classes, like once they come to fourth or fifth, you can say, you should tell an adjective before your name. You should tell your hobby and your name. So this way we will also know the children, uh, like what they like and the things like that. And we will also learn their qualities and also their names. So this really helps to have a circle time, and the circle time really helps with the children. Anyone have tried circle time? How many of you regularly have circle time in your classroom?
Can we have a more interactive session? Either you type or you can unmute yourself and speak up.
Unmute yourself.
Yeah.
You can switch on your
Because
cameras.
Skillveda sessions are very interactive.
As I said, I'm not going to trust anything, or I'm not going to teach. It's just knowledge sharing. So you can say what happened, because something which did not work with me definitely must have worked with you, or what was your failure can be other person's success. So it's just a platform where we just share our knowledge. Yes. Yeah. Because this way, at times, I really don't understand whether you have just logged in, are you there or not? Because when I take my college students, I do understand Sometimes I have 75, especially during the COVID times when I was taking the college students. I used to have 75 there. But when 10 minutes before I'll finish the class, then I can see 30 of them would say, thank you, ma'am, and leave the session. Others are there. That means they have just logged in and they are there. That is what happens. Because so unless until you switch on your cameras, you interact. Yes, Chaitra. Chaitra, you would like to talk about circle time. Have you ever had it in your class? Any activities in circle time?
Yeah, she's saying she had.
Yes. Yes. What all activities do you have? Do you have it daily? Do you have weekly circle time? Okay, a week. You have it weekly. That's lovely. So, what is your experience? Like, what happens in the circle time? Yeah.
Circle time, to in our school, it's every day. Matlab, it's just a small meet of the teachers and students in the morning, na, that is circle time.
Hmm. Usually, circle time, if we have it at the end of the day, what happens? Especially like we tend to know some children, some might say, like, today I lost my pencil, or I did not do my homework. I was scolded by English teacher. I was scolded by the maths teacher today for not doing the homework. So then that is the time where we also pacify the child and we console the child so that the child goes with a happy mood.
In
Or if
our
they had,
school, in our preschool, it's in the morning circle time. It's in the morning itself. We interact with
okay.
the kids. We sit together. All the teachers and the students sit together. They, matlab, rhymes हो गई, months हो गए, weekdays. They do like this.
Yeah, that's a way of teaching with them. But
Yeah.
usually, like, in the circle time, when we have maybe you can have maybe you can take one big shoebox and you collect all the material which starts from A, B, C, D. With A, you can take one small arrow. B, you can take one small box or a board. With C, you can take one comb, or with D, you can take one some small pen or some dart or something like that. So you just sometime in the circle time, you can also rotate that in the class, and you can say you have to pick an object. You have to show the object. You will have your own show and tell box. You can create your own show and tell box. So the child starts speaking about it. Then in the initial stage, like a icebreaker, we can say, pass a smile. You smile at a person, and then that person pass a smile. All those things. Yes, Deepika?
It was just, I think,
So
yeah.
So you can just talk to them, and at the end, you can also have a bye-bye song with them, and all those things. Maybe every Friday you have an art, especially with grade 1 and 2. Somewhere you have one creative art. So they say, yeah, today I have this with me. So that I have 2 days holiday, Saturday, Sunday holiday, and they take it. So that way, like, so when they leave the class, so that is the time where they go in a happy mood. So to strengthen the classroom community, we can have a circle time before going 5 or 10 minutes. So that helps. So maybe a small recap of the homework or anything. They can just speak. We can tell them about the friend, what they like about this friend, one thing they don't like. So all those things. So this way, like, the peer correction, everything takes part in the circle time. Any questions, Shreya? How how many of you have story time in your sessions? And how often do you think a class should be told a story? Daily a story or weekly once, weekly twice? And what type of stories should we tell them? Yes? Can I have your views? Can you just type in your chat box? How often do you have stories? Yes? Once a week. Sangeeta Balakrishnan says once a week. Okay? Any other suggestion? What type of stories do you think you should tell the children?
Ma'am, theme-based stories related to their chapters, we can
Okay,
inculcate.
yeah, lovely.
Or student story sharing per
Hmm.
week. Like student
Motivational stories also we can do with the
Ah.
kids.
moral
Yeah.
stories also. Moral stories also
Yes.
we
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, actually, stories are something like, where we don't teach stories. We just tell the stories. Okay. Sometimes the lesson itself, we can convert it and tell a story. Like when whenever I start introduce division or multiplication in my class, I for multiplication I tell a story, which is basically an extract from Sudha Murthy's story. Like, I tell Geeta is a small girl. She's very naughty, and whatever work was given to her, she forgets about it. So one fine day, she comes from the school and she tells her parents like she's just going for a picnic, and it's a potluck, everyone should bring one dish, and she has told her teacher that she will take sambar because her mother makes a lovely sambar. So on the day of picnic, Geeta was just lying on the bed, she was smelling the sambar, and suddenly she heard her mother saying, Geeta, I'm going to the temple. What you do, you just have to put 5 spoons of salt and leave it. I'll come and pour it into a container and pack it and give it to you. Now, when her mother told us, Geeta's grandfather, who was reading the newspaper in the balcony, he felt, oh, Geeta, she forgets everything because the other day I asked for my specs and this girl she did not bring. So he just takes his walking stick, he just comes to the kitchen and he puts 5 spoons of salt, and he just goes back and sits in the balcony with reading his newspaper. Geeta's grandmother, who's there in the doing puja, so she was just rotating her the bead. She heard that and she said, "My God, I don't understand why Geeta's mother gave a job to Geeta, and she forgets everything, and she takes the sambar to the school without salt. Everyone will make fun of this girl." So she just rolls the beads and she just comes and she just puts 5 spoons of salt and she goes back and she continues her puja. And Geeta's father, who just comes from the bathroom after her taking bath, he just wipes his head and he hears and he says, "My God, why Geeta's mother is telling Geeta to do it?" He comes and he puts 5 spoons and he goes up. Immediately, Geeta thinks, I always forget everything, and this time I should not forget. She jumps down the bed, she goes and she puts 5 spoons of salt and she goes back. And Geeta's mother comes and she just mixes up everything and she just pours this into a container and Geeta happily takes it to the school. And there in the picnic, when all the children, they sit down and when they are about to eat, so the moment they keep this in the mouth, they said, "My God," and one child asked, "What did your mother made sambar from the seawater? My God, what is it? Is it a salt sambar?" I thought your mother has made vegetable sambar and all those things. And Geeta is very much annoyed. And she comes back home very sad. And she tells, you know, so the grandfather said, why you are sad? The sambar should be very good. I did put salt in that because I know you will forget. And Geeta's grandmother comes, she says, why, Geeta, you are so sad? You must have taken a very good sambar because I added 5 spoons of salt. And Geeta said, you also, grandma? You also, grandpa? And in the meantime, Geeta's grandfather comes and he said, Geeta, how is the sambar? Because I did add salt to it. And Geeta said, oh, I also added this salt. So we'll say 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. So 4 plus 4 is 4 times. It is 16. So then we say 4 into 4 is 16. So what is multiplication? It's just a repeated addition. So we just tell a story so that the children learns the concept of multiplication. So stories can be told in various places, and this helps them learn. And stories should not be taught. You just tell them and then you ask. And then when you start taking up the multiplication, then they try to relate. So that is what happens. Similarly, like, when we talk about good habits and we don't ask them, and what is the value from this? Then they try to speak on this. If instead of this, the protagonist or hero, if he had done it like this, it had been entirely different. So all these things, when we tell them to children, we elicit answer from that. So that helps them to learn not only their academic themes, but also the social and the other emotional concept. So that helps them, like if someone needs any help, how do they help? And it really builds them from within. So that's why the story really helps. And the story not only for the students, like even when we take up people doing their SSB or something, they do have a in the interview, they have a story writing where they have to elicit. So, and when we tell them to tell a story, because, it is somewhere knowingly or the unknowingly, they start talking how they are. It is like their way only comes out. So it's a way of molding a child into a better adult or a better learner. So story really plays a vital role and a role play. And we can also we can give them certain scenarios, like, now you are a shopkeeper and you are going to the shop to purchase. So now you are just going to do a role play. So this role play also helps them build confidence, and they know how to the problem solving, all these things they learn through role play. So the stories and role play plays a vital role in building up our children. And then we can have a creative writing, and then slowly they are in fourth or fifth. Then we can have sessions called as jam sessions. Just a minute. So where you just first tell them to brainstorm, like suppose using the WH questions and how questions, like you show them maybe any object and you tell them, like, now you have to say what is it, where is it used, how is it used, uh, which company produced it or something. Tell them to form questions all on those things and tell them, now you just combine them, take a note of it, and now you have to speak of that. And now then you can give them the extempore. You just give them a any noun or any object and tell them, now you are going to speak. Then slowly you can give them phrases to speak on the phrase. So like this, you can have jam session. And now once they are grown up and or they are comfortable with the jam session where they can speak for 1 hour, then you can give them quote over, turn the quote over. Turn the quote over, like, the moment, suppose, for example, we say children should be given pocket money. Do you agree? They will say yes. Okay, now speak on it. What are the point? And after that, you have to say change. Now the same child has to speak. Earlier I said I do agree, but I really don't agree because these are the disadvantages, or these are the cons, or these are the pros and these are the cons. So this way the child will know to speak both for and against. And then slowly, like towards the end of fifth standard or something, we can just develop how to answer on a debating question, how to answer on persuasive questions. So here, so this way, we can develop the confidence in the children to take up the things. Then again, character. Now, slowly
Bharti
after
ji,
the story, yes,
can we ask someone to tell some story they have told to their kids in the school,
yeah. Can anyone tell the story?
which is not in the books, but they made themselves and then told the kids?
Yes. Can
Seema
anyone share a
ji,
story?
Harpreet ji, anyone? Because all the stories are not in the books, na? Some teachers made themselves, then they told kids.
Yes.
Anyone wants to take the initiative? I think being Sunday, they are in the holiday mood.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Bharti ji, you can continue.
So like they can tell the stories, and after this brainstorming where they speak on the activity, we can also give them 3 word, make use these 3 words and make a sentence. And then you can tell them, like, now I'll give you a setting, I'll give you a character, I'll give you a problem, now you make a story on your own, right? So then they start telling a story. Then we can have weaving a story where every you can divide the children into groups, and then we can say everyone has to tell one sentence, and then you should have it as a combined story, weaving a story. So all these activities really helps. Um, and in circle time also you can have these activities. You can say, I'll give you'll have 3 words, and you need to make one sentence out of it. Suppose any 3 words, like we can say tree, boy, and fruit. Then we can say the boy climbed the tree and plucked the fruit, or things like that. You can just give 3 words and make a story, and then you can give them a beginning of a story, and you can say, now you complete the story. All those things you can say, and then you can tell them a story and tell them to write how was the hero, the protagonist character, and what is the villain's character. So you can tell them to draw the character, that you can do it. Otherwise, and similarly, or now AI plays a vital role. So recently, like now I've started doing, especially this, of course, I have done it for my grown-up students, the college level. So what I would do is, like, any question answers, I would just tell them, now go to the chat GPT and see what is a mediocre. Suppose when you are training a student for IELTS, we tell them for a for this topic, what will be a grand band 8.5 to 9 will be answering. What will be a band of 7 on answering? What will be a band of 6 answering? Now I tell the students to analyze it. Similarly, for grade 5, you can have from the story, you can take a question, and you will say what will be a below average doing, what will be a average student writing, what would be a very above average. Now you have 3 different answers. Now put all the 3 different answers, and you ask the question to the children, and then you say these are the 3 answers. Now analyze which would be the appropriate answer and why you say this is the answer. So this way the child starts critical thinking and analyzing the things. So this also really plays, it really works with the children. They start doing it. Now I'm just sharing a lesson plan with you. Is it seen, a lesson plan?
Oh, we can't see. You have not shared Abhi right now, no?
Okay, I haven't shared it yet. This is a lesson plan. Suppose we have, this is basically for class 3, creative writing. Suppose we just have, so we can just, students will write 3 to 4 sentences describing on a pet. This pet can be a real pet. Suppose they'll say, ma'am, I don't have a pet at home. Imagine if you like to have a pet at home, what you would like to have. Then again, if you are having a student who is from Kerala might say, like, my grandmother's house, we have elephant as a pet. Or if you're teaching in an IGCSE, you might have an Australian student saying, I have alligator as a pet. Oh, okay, fine. So we just accept it. And what is a pest for us? Rat is a pest for us. But for a child in Europe, rat would be a pet. So whatever, like then we can just say, write few sentences. That is why imaginary or then you show them a picture of this animal and you can, of these animals and you say, what do you see? How do you describe these animals? You can pair the students and you can tell them, now describe. Then this is my dog, it's brown, it's friendly. Then you have to give a feedback for everything. Like if the child says, usually they'll say, it is very nice, it is very cute. Then you can say, this is about the appearance, talk about its behavior also. So this way the child thinks about, and then you can check about the punctuations, and then you can give a immediate feedback. They are good sentence. Try to add more adjectives. Then you can say, like, always try to give a positive feedback. So like, I love how neat your writing is. If the child writes neatly, and at the same time, if I and things like that, where it has to be capital letter, if it's not there, but you really write neat. But if you just work on sentence begins with a capital letter and ends with a full stop, that would be really a crown, or it would be a feather to this, or that would be an added advantage. Your handwriting is really good, but if you just give some space between the words, it would be lovely. Then you can exchange and tell the children to write what they like, because what they don't like or what the problem is, everyone can say. Like what, like that is a human tendency, right? A problem, it's easy to be identified. But when we talk about we need to appreciate, then how do I appreciate? What is a good thing? So we tell them, one thing, another thing I liked, and one thing I think you can improve is for a class 5 or even class 3, they can write 2 stars and wish. I wish if you write it neatly. I wish if you don't use your eraser too much, it would be more nice. And then even after every class, usually children give us one letter saying, ma'am, I like you, ma'am, I love you, ma'am, your dress is nice, ma'am, you're sweet, ma'am, all those things. In that, you can tell them one describing word I used today or I learned today, one thing I will improve next time. So you can just quickly collect all these things for them. So now again, if it's maths and you're teaching addition with carrying 2-digit, then you can just go about telling them what is addition first. If you're addition, what happens? Like you're just adding. And if you wanted to, like how if we have something more, less money, we keep it at home, more money, we put it in the bank. Like that, if it is till 9, it's okay. No, 10, 11, 12. Oh God, this ones will not take all those 10s, 11, 12 and all. So it is more. So it can just keep only till 9. So the rest, it puts it there. So all those things we can just do in our teaching. And any doubt so far or anything which you think has to be discussed, please share. Can at least put it in the chat box and say, like, you would like to speak on this. Yes, showing animated videos related to addition and subtraction. Of course, animated videos, it is good to show, but you know what happens nowadays? You have so many animated videos which parents have also purchased, and the children see at home, like nursery rhymes. To school, they put the nursery rhymes and make the children sleep. They make the children eat. All those things, like So you give them more on activities like where they do it, hands-on experience. It's not like they just sit down and they watch. Of course, once or twice, or to introduce a topic, we can use it, no issues. But to have hands-on experiences, like you can have 2 katoris here with labeled as pens and units, and then 2 katoris down. Maybe those play in red paper cups. Here you can have white paper cups. Then you can have pink paper cups. One is red plus white gives you pink. And then you can say, like, how do you add it? All those things. They start working on it. So that way, like, hands-on experience, they will learn, oh, it is a repeated addition, multiplication, and all those things. That way it really helps them. Yes? Anything else which you think has to be covered or we should discuss on? Yes, dear teachers, something which you think we need to work on or discuss? Yes, teachers, any questions?
Ma'am, how to teach the digraphs like for SKG students? Like we are teaching them phonics from the beginning from nursery class. Na?
Okay.
When they'll go to SKG, they will face problem in joining the words like sh, ch, th, like TCH and CH. Na?
Yes.
So how to teach them in a funny way, like how they can
Yeah.
grab it easily. Like few kids are facing problem in this. Like teachers are teaching them in a funny way on regular basis.
Yeah.
है ना? But
First
how we can inculcate these things in a funny and appropriate way so that they can easily learn these things.
Okay, lovely. So like when we start teaching, we just start for everything. Like, suppose we might teach. Do you teach from ABCD or Satpin way?
Ma'am, we are teaching them phonics from the beginning, like both the sounds we are teaching. In the beginning, we'll start with the phonic sounds abracadabra. And after September, October, we are teaching them both the letters together, like A sounds A, B sounds B, C sounds K, D sound D.
Okay.
So this ways we are
So
teaching them.
like when we start telling them, no, first we will just say, how do we say, like everything has a sound? How do we introduce the sounds? First we say dog, we show them dog. How does the sound a dog makes? It says bow bow. And then we show a placard of A. And no, it says the sound A. B says B. So when we, so with everything, like we can have a small alliterations, like uh, yes, a lovely question. I'll come to this. So we just say a, b, k. So then we teach them how to join them. So the best way, first we teach them is a. After a, we teach them s sound. Okay. So with this a, we can say ant and an apple. Ant and an apple. All these alliteration. Or ants on my arm. Ants on my arm. All those things. And then we can teach them S. Snakes are slithering. Snakes are slithering. Then T. Tuna tin tinkling. Or Tabby plays tennis. And after finishing this actor, we start teaching blending right there. Maybe in nursery or pre-KG, we just teach them the sound, but LKG, we can start blending. Or in the end of nursery itself, we can start blending. We say a, 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 a. You make two placards or two flashcards, a, a, a. You join it. So as. Okay. Now a, 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 t, a, t, that. Then we go in for p, e. First, when we start teaching a, t, p, e, n. That is SATPIN. So after teaching the 6 words, we can teach them lots of words like in, p, in, pin, is. So like pin is, as, tan, pan. So 3 letters. P and span. So what happens in LKG itself, the child starts reading 4-letter words. The confidence is there. And after this regular reading, we can also have CVC words and some high frequency words. Like if you just check the net, you'll have high frequency words. There are 1,000 words. Of course, many are blendable. So we can. Then we can also say ch, as in chip, ch, as in chop. CH has the sound ch. So when 2 letters join together and gives a different sound. And we also have a diagram, like when p, l, pl, p, l, pl, b, l, sk, s and k, sk, sk. So all these things. And uh, the sound have any sound. So whenever we tell has no sound, when Q joins with Q, has the sound quack, quack, quack. So make the children, when you start teaching this blending, that time they will learn that Q, and they will not make a mistake also when they write. They will not write Q separately. You tell them quit. They will not write Q, IT, quit. They will write Q, U, IT, queen, Q, U. Because every time after Q, they will know they have to use U. Because you'll say Q has no sound. When Q joins with Q, that's the sound, quack, quack, quack. And similarly, like when we tell them C and K has same sound, k, k. Now, when it has got same sound, where do I use C and where do I use K? So if you wanted to write k, then we say, listen, we are all friends, right? When I sit with Chaitra, she is my best friend. I'm happy. I can speak well. But when I sit with Maitra, I get sad because she's not my friend. So when C joins with A, gives you the sound K. T joins with U, gives you the sound K. Cut, cat, K, at. Then cot, COT. But if I wanted the sound cat, C and E, they don't get along. C and I, they don't get along. So if I wanted kit, I need to write because K is the friend of I. So K is a friend of E. So that time we use those words. And similarly, when we teach the magic, like CUT, cut, but CUTE is cute. Why? Because when two vowels go walking, only one does the talking. Or you can tell them, it's raining and two vowels, that is U and E. The first one is the elder one, is taking the younger one E, and they have a consonant umbrella T, and they are just walking in the rain. And mummy said, be careful, you're taking your little one E, little brother E with you. So you don't make any sound, be careful. And you go. And this you is taking very carefully, and someone is asking, who is that under the umbrella? Then immediately, instead of taking out the sound, it just says its name. I am you. So BITE, bite. So BIT is bit. B-E sound. But when BITE, so that time when it's taking this I, it says it is I. So that is why it is pronounced it as I. So you can tell those small story like things, so which way make the children remember well. And for every letter, start having an activity with them. So like, integrate one activity. Suppose you are teaching them O, you can say O has a sound obstacle. Come on, we will have an obstacle race. So take one table, they have to climb the table, jump, and another table, they have to go inside the table and touch the finishing line. So they will know what is obstacle. They will learn this word obstacle. And suppose they have the word or macaroni. So let's make a macaroni necklace. So you can get those macaronis, those pastas, paint them, make a necklace. Suppose they are having fish. So we can make a fish and color it, or a fish placard or some activity. Dab the sponge, dab and print. All those things. For every letter, have an activity. So they learn the sound. So blending, tell them a story for everything. So this will really help them to learn the things better. And similarly, like when we have the higher class children, the 4th and 5th, and there we have to teach them like homophones, homonyms, homographs. We can say homo is same, phones is the sound. So like when they have the same sound but the different spelling, they are homophones. What are they? Like I. So like that. So like there's one question in the chat box. Some students know to write, but they don't want to write. Yes. They don't want to write. So you can always give an activity-based writing. You can just tell them, you need not
Thank you,
write.
ma'am. Thank you so much.
You can just tell them, you need not write. What you want to do is, you just have to find out, you just make a diagram. Tell them, now we are going to write something on the tree. So you don't write a passage on the tree. You just draw a tree and say it is green, it has got roots, it's big, it is used for furniture, it gives furniture, and then slowly you start organizing it. Then you just tell them, I don't want you to write too much, but just use a power strategy in writing. What is power strategy? POWER, where P stands for planning. You just plan what you're going to write. And O is for organizing. You have to organize what you're going to write first, what you're going to write second. And W is a rough mental draft, or maybe in your rough notebook, you write, note it down. Okay. And E, evaluate yourself, mind. Whether have you written everything what you have thought, or is there any point left out? And R is to review. You review it from the reader's point of view. Just this, and now I'm a reader, I'm reading this. Am I getting your idea, the same idea? So that means when I can transfer my idea to you through writing, then I've done it. So this way, like, you just tell them certain things, and you just tell them, now, I just want you to make a flow diagram, your ideas. You need not write. Just write what is it, when is it, or maybe for these children, when they really don't want to write, you can just give them some phrases. You can give them some beginning and ending. So you say you just have to complete it. So all these things will create some interest for them to write. Like, you tell them to make a graph, some questions. Tell them just use a power strategy and write, or tell them you just write one point and one question and one answer, what it is. So just write what you like the most in that. You need not write, suppose it's about, for example, writing the character sketch of the character in the story. Then you can say, why do you like him? Just write few sentences. You need not write too much. Just 4 sentences. Okay, now this is basically like this. I've showed you a lesson plan where you just show them my pet. You say, you about your pet, you write what pet you have, how was your pet looking, and how is it behaving. Just write 3 sentences about it. My pet is a dog, it's brown in color, it's very friendly and playful. 3 sentences. Okay, fine. So slowly and slowly the child starts writing. So this way you have to just encourage them a bit in writing. So this way it really works it out. Any questions? Any questions? Like, suppose for everything, like, we have especially maybe one day in the class where they also have if it really works out in your school, one day you can have a no bag day for the students, where they need not bring their bags. You can just have hands-on experience where they learn things. So they don't, or no books day. They don't have any books and a pencil box and all, no writing. So that day maybe they have one music period, dance period, coloring period. Then in the science period, they start preparing, because we tell, like, we should stop buying the Chinese projects or the made in China goods. But where we just speak about it, we cannot. Why? because when it comes to the toys our children use, the toys which are made in China are more cheaper than what we have here, right? So for this, what we have to do, we have to work, we have to create some activities where our children start making their own toys. They start doing small experiments. They start becoming maybe scientists rather than playing with toys. They create their toys, so they create experiments and they start. So, like maybe you take this small pencils, put a rubber band, twist it, and maybe you cover it with a bottle and or a wheel, and then make your own car, make your own boat, all these small activities where the children start making. So this way, they start learning and they just grow out of all these toys and they get engaged in making more experiments and things like that. Like maybe you take up a rotten potato and put a thing, light a small bulb, or make raisins dance. So all these things will help the children to start working on it. And we often tell, like, we should save paper, and what we do then save the world. And we have craft where we use lots of what do we use? Thermocols and things like that. And we say best out of waste, and so many things usually children they are purchasing. We say best out of waste, and we use an activity out of ice cream sticks where the children are buying ice cream sticks. So we just give them some activities like that where they learn and they start doing it. Of course, memory game is a very good game for them to play with. And we also have lots of reading activity, creative writing, and coloring. All these activities will keep them engrossed. So one day you can just have assessment, like suppose you are wanted to assess children for preposition. So you can just say, please take out your notebook and your pencil box, but definitely we are not going to write. Now take your pencil and keep it inside your book. Keep it on your book. Hold it above your book. Keep your hand on your head, above your head. Now put your pencil and eraser in between your book and the pencil pouch. Put your pencil among the pencil, pencil among the eraser, sharpener, and scale. So they will know what is in between, what is among, what is in, what is into, what is on, what is under, what is beside, and what is besides. So all these things, orally you tell them. So these things, the children tend to understand, they will learn. And at the same time, you need not prepare a question paper to assess them. Immediately you can assess when you see them doing it. But children are learning and they are playing, and you can assist them, right? And so is like writing. You can give them a sentence like, the children, they know how to write, but they don't want to write. Definitely you can take up a story, a small story, just type all the lines, take strips, story strips, and tell the child to put them in order. Now the child puts the story in order. So, the child knows writing. He knows what to do. Now you say you have put it in order. Now copy it in your notebook. Right? Now the child will copy it in his or her notebook. And then maybe you can take up, now to make it a little more tough, you can take two story. You can take maybe a fox and the grapes and crow and the fox, two sentence strips, cut them, mix it together, and tell them to segregate. So these are the activities they can do it. And like we have various PTMs, or the parents teachers meeting. Every time parent coming and asking, ma'am, how is my child doing? What is my child doing? Uh, and we telling your child is doing good. And sometimes the parent are happy, sometimes the parent are not. So one time we can say skill development, or where you can have such activity. Maybe you in a class you can divide as English, science, second language, Hindi, and mathematics. Four corners, put a table and just call 30 class, 30 in a class, 10, 10. You can allot time and keep some activities like where for reading you have a small passage, the child reads out. hmm, and you have a where in writing you can have a story which you just according to it, and then maybe like identifying a noun or fill in the blanks, read it and categorize it, common noun or pronoun or whatever. And in mathematics you have some English, all these paper thing where they just have to do it and show it to the parents, and the parents will see, they will know what the child has learned and what the skill they have learned. It's right in front of them. So here what happens, they will say, my child doesn't write it in the notebook. Yes sir, some children, they do not write in the notebook, they are very playful, but he knows the art of writing. See, that is why he has arranged the story well. We can tell the children. And similarly, like addition and subtraction, the child, he doesn't know the carry forward, he doesn't know. See, sir, he has done it. That's it. So you can just tell them to do it. So in this, what happens? One is the parent sees the growth of the child themselves, and they are very happy. Another things, you will have some smart mothers who will start preparing such activities and start working with the children. So the growth also grows there. So that also helps in the growth of the children. So these things really helps in the growth of the children. Like not necessary the child has to write every time or the child has to read every time, but we can assess the child what the child is doing. Like for grade 1, you can give small, you can have, one of my favorite activity is, I call it as DEAR, DEAR. That is, draw everything and read. So what happens? Everything that you read. So here you just write, draw a house and a tree next to it. Draw a cat and a cat with a hat, or draw a table and a basket under the table. You can write small, small steps. Seeing this, the child draws it. So that means the child can read, child can comprehend, can understand. When you say draw a bat and a ball, bat on a ball, ball on a bat. You give 3 sentences and the child draws that. So that means the child can comprehend very well. So the child can understand. So this way, like, you can have all these activities which will really help the children in taking it forward. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions, teachers?
No, ma'am.
Or anything you would like to share which has been a very good, or which you have created, or which has been going on very good, it's been a hit in your class? Or anything where it has been a problem in your class? Something which you were unable to do teachers together, because what did not work out with you must have really worked out with the other person, or what did not work out with them must have worked out with you. So in this platform, we can really exchange and we can all learn together. Yes? Yeah?
No one has any question? All are enjoying their Sundays.
Enjoying the
Seema ji?
session too, ma'am. Enjoying the session too.
Yeah, I think so. Any questions,
That's
please?
good.
We will be more than happy
Any
to
question?
have questions from you people.
Or even if you have any problems in Hindi, or also
Or
you
if
can
you want
ask
to
through
know
it.
more about anything, please let us know.
On the whole, our idea is to work with the student community. Together, we can make a better world. We can better citizens.
Seema ji, you would like to know anything else extra about
No, ma'am,
anything?
no, ma'am. Thank you.
You can ask your teachers also. Maybe they will listen to you, not me.
They all are listening you as well, ma'am.
Seema ji, you are from which
Yeah.
school?
Ma'am, I'm from Montessori Public School, Kharar.
Okay.
Chaitra ji is writing something in the chat box and let me read it. How to make easy for the class second teaching phonetics.
Yes. Phonetics, actually, phonetics is really, to be very frank, phonetics works out well when you are in Montessori and first standard. Second standard also it works out to some extent, but by the time when you come to second standard, you should have more of CVC words, high frequency words, CVCC words, and keywords and multi-words. So, like when we had the students right back muscle, because to the time, even in their science, they would be having bones, muscles. So, like in such places, we have to tell them what is a naughty word, trick word, because naughty word, not blunt or it's not phonetical, so you have to see it as a sight word, read it as a whole. Or some word you can do the simplification and then you can go ahead with. So those things you can always start. You can tell them. Suppose when we say ONE one, but ONE own as per the phonetical rule. You when two vowels go walking, one tells its name in talking. So like own, shown, drone. But when we talk about one, it is one, ONE, one. So, like that, we just have to tell them everywhere. Like, you have to tell them, like, see, we all walk in a line, but this boy, at times, he comes out of the line, no? He starts running. So, like that, this word is slightly naughty. At times, it starts saying like this. Bone, corn. And then you can say I. There's no word in English which ends with I because I is so shy, it doesn't want to stand at the end. So what it says, it calls its friend. Why? Listen, I'm very scared to stand at the end. So whenever it's end, I want you to come and stand. Then I will say, don't worry, I'll come and stand in your place. So, like that. And that is why OI and OY has the same sound, I. But when it's oil, we say OIL, oil. But boy, is it BOI? No, I is very shy. So it calls Y to come and stand at the end. So it is BOY, boy. Similarly, coil. Is it COYL? No, no, no. Now I say, listen, I have L after, so I am not scared. So why don't you go? I will stand. Okay. So oil, boil, but toy, boy. So like that, when we start telling the children, they will learn it. And similarly, the family words, like we say, and we start drilling with it. And that is also a way where they students can learn better. Any other questions?
Ma'am, I have one question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Krishna ji, please.
yeah, please.
Ma'am, what remedies we should undertake for the students who have language barriers? Means, for example, I will give you one example of mine which I am facing now. I am a first standard teacher, and two students from my class, they have come as a new student there, and they have come from other states.
Hmm.
One is from Tamil Nadu and one is, I don't know which state, but he is South Indian only. But they don't understand what I am saying to them. When I talk to them, they just look on my face. Then, if in action I'm telling them, then they will understand. So, what remedies I should follow to improve the language communication, even writing, because they don't know Hindi also, nor they don't know Marathi, nor English also they don't know. So,
Yes,
what
ma'am. So
are the steps I have to follow
yeah,
there?
yeah. It's a very lovely question. In fact, I face this problem
Thank
when
you, ma'am.
initially, when
Mm.
especially like, when I was teaching and I started as my Montessori teacher in Delhi. So we used to have a lot of students, and especially in Montessori, like children coming with mother tongue as Bengali or Tamil or Malayalam, and would
Yes,
be
ma'am.
difficult. And especially even with children with Hindi also, when they come to us and when they speak, what happens, they don't know their own name. Suppose maybe one boy with Yeshwant might be called uh, Sonu or Chotu at home, so he would be knowing only that name. So it used to be
Yes,
really tough to
correct.
identify, and they spend their time when crying. So when it first standard and second standard, we can always tell them to write, like it's only the symbols and things like that, or maybe like if you have the peer group, the same uh, student, maybe the same student who's with the same mother tongue. So we can have those children to speak to them, to guide them. So that also helps in case if we have a student of the same mother tongue in the class, that helps uh, peer learning. Or else it's only like, we start telling them, and speaking them with actions. And that really helps them in getting it up. And also
Thank you, ma'am.
having a good contact with the parents and speaking to them, uh, like this is what they have to do and things like that. So that helps. But um, when we don't use the L1 or the mother tongue and we use this action, these children, they pick up the language better in the later stage, because other children, when we start teaching them in their mother tongue, like, two times we tell them in English and the child doesn't understand, then we finally tell them in their mother tongue, then the children are so smart, they'll say, why should I make an effort to learn, because the teacher is going to translate it. But when these children, when we start showing them symbols and all, because we also don't know that language, they also don't know that language, in that stage, these children, they have no other way. So out of that, they understand the language better within months. Yes. Any other question?
Yes, good
Yeah,
evening,
Hema
ma'am.
ji. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and yes, ma'am. Ma'am, how should we teach English to small kids like junior KG and nursery kids? How should we teach them if they can speak in English? Kindly explain
Uh,
me.
ma'am, we need not speak to them. We need not teach them, ma'am. Actually, I tell you, we need not teach them. We keep speaking. They also start picking it up. We just tell them, I want you all to come here, children. All my children, I want you all to come here. So the moment, and next time you say, come here, and they will know. First, we start showing certain things with the
Okay, okay.
actions, and they
Okay, okay.
start picking it up. And
Acha. We
then
need
we
to
just
start
say,
a small lines with them.
yes,
We
small
can
things
start with
like,
small words also. Please come here, go there.
yes.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Like again, you can have some placards. Simultaneously, we have those say thank you.
Flashcards also
Then
we use in
so
preschool.
like taking and saying thank you, and telling them walk. We don't say don't run. Say walk in a path, because the science says tell them don't run, and the child listens run as a major thing, and he picks it up as running only. And so that is why we always say, instead of saying don't run, we say walk in a line, walk in the path. We don't say don't shout, speak softly. We don't say, don't come in between and disturb. Please wait for your turn. Ask, excuse me, if you wanted to say something. Raise your hand and wait for your turn. So when you start speaking such positive words and small phrases, and you tell them, like after now it's lunchtime, please go wash your hands. So they know they need to wash their hands.
So, okay. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Himaji, you want to ask something? You have raised your hand, Himaji.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can we, good evening, ma'am, first of all.
Good evening.
Yeah. Yeah. How can we help children with the spellings?
Spellings. Spelling
Yeah.
is actually, we can just syllabify the words. Suppose it is like, we can tell them, keep your hands here and see the syllabification. Okay. Like, I'll make them into small chunks, and we should have only one vowel in it. Like, we say promise, promise. So it's a two syllabification, like how it goes, promise. So it's broken into two. So like that we can tell them, and we can tell them to learn spelling in clap and punch method. Like suppose if it is a consonant, you have to clap, and if it is a vowel, you have to punch. Suppose it is cat, C-A-T, cat. So this way they say that has got a better way of learning. And tell them, like, see and write, close and write, and check. So we don't tell them write 4 times or 5 times. We'll say first time see and write, then read, close and write. Now check. So this time the children, they write 2 times, or we say copy, see and write, write and check. So we don't say write the spellings 3 times. So this way they do it, because when we say 3 times, they their idea is only writing 3 times, and they just literally copy it, or they draw the words. So when we tell them copy the word, see the word and write, then write the word and check. So they write it 3 times, but their idea is when you say see the word, copy the word, write the word and check. So they are in connection with the main word. So every time the spelling. So this is a way of telling them to learn the spelling. And for the spellings, maybe like, we also can have reading pyramids. Suppose there is a word, the sun rises on the east. So first word we write the sun rises, the sun rises on, in the sun rises in the east. So like this, they take up the sentence. So they do a repetition of reading. And now where do you find which word is comes so many times? Or we ask questions related to that. So they keep on watching those words. And then you can throw a flashcard, now see and write the word. Now see the word, write the word. So you show the flashcard and they see the word. So this way they remember the spellings. Then again, you can have a word wall in the class, and we can tell them, now today few words are changed or few words are added, like uh, whatever we have, the word wall or any chart in the class, it is not a decorative piece. We have to use it as a learning resources. For example, we have 1 to 10 in the caterpillar. Usually we teachers make that caterpillar with 1 to 10. So like we have the head of the caterpillar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And one day, like, once all the children have gone, maybe you can make it 8 and 9, you can change that. So the child sees that, ma'am, today we have, instead of 8 and 9, this is changed, ma'am, it is not in an order, it's wrong. Then say, wow, I just wanted you people to observe what is around the class. Then maybe you can give that child with a star or maybe a candy. And so this way the child or sees the word. We tell them it's a word wall. You have to, it's for a learning purpose. But children, they don't see because they say, this is there for the past 1 month. So every day small change is done in there. So the children show interest. And the idea of having a word wall or any chart in the wall is used as a learning resource, and they use it. Any other
Thank,
question?
thank you. Thank
Am
you, ma'am.
I okay? Thank you.
Yes.
Any
Yeah,
other question?
Yeah,
I have.
Himaji, are you satisfied with the answer?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Actually, I face problem. Children, some children find it difficult even to read when there is some unfamiliar word, so they find it difficult even after
I,
repeatedly, reading or explaining. So how
yes.
to help? Yeah, how
So,
do we help?
so for when suppose like it is a chef or it is a baker or maybe some word, you can initially you can start substituting with the picture. So every time that word comes, they have that picture and they feel better in reading it. So then later on, you show those words. So that way also you can make reading better. And then like you can have I read this, you write this, or continuous reading, or reading some activities on reading. So that will also help them.
Practice
And
also makes them continuous reading the things then.
yeah, drilling and practice, of course, that also
Yes.
helps them. But sometimes children, they start by hearting it. So you don't know whether they're reciting it or they are reading it. So that's why you need to make some changes. Suppose it is like I've got a dog, it is brown in color, it is very friendly. So like I have a, now you see this child is reading and the child has a problem in reading the spelling of the brown. So like, today my PT master was wearing a brown jacket. So now this child knows brown and he starts reading. Now, friendly. My dog is very friendly. I am very friendly with all my students, but these are my friends. I'm very good friends with them, but I'm friendly with the whole class. Then uh, you just have to identify the child, where all the child has problem, what all the words the child is not comfortable with. Then try to give different sentences and incorporate these words there. So that really helps, because especially in the lower classes, be it Montessori or till fifth standard, like I don't know whether children they do their homework or not, but we teachers, unless and until we do the homework, we cannot survive in the class for the next day. So before coming to school or the class, we just have to work at least for 1.5 hours daily as so work these children. So then we have to do something creative and then we have to work with them. Any other questions? Any questions?
Yeah, good evening, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am, in
Savita. Yeah.
class 1, I have 6 to 8 RT children. Those don't know, they cannot read, and other
Okay.
students can read. But ma'am, I'm just I'm troubling to explain them how to read, because other class, all the other students, I'm teaching the lessons and they are able to read. But these 6 to 8 children, ma'am, how to handle them means it is quite difficult for me to teach them how to read, because they don't know the sound of the words. They are completely means blank. They are coming with the ABCD, that's it. Ma'am, please
Okay.
guide.
So, so maybe you can start teaching them maybe for the whole class. We can have a activity like come little children, we let us sing ABCD. So instead of that, you can have a circle time where we say a, b, k, d, a,
Yeah, we are
say the
doing in the
sound.
activities,
And
ma'am, just like a
yeah,
attack,
and then we can
that
tell
all.
them in the class, we can have them to join. Like you will be having, if you go to the library, you will have lots of newspapers. So you can make these newspaper jackets. And newspapers, it's all we have to do is you just have to cut a small part. You can take a newspaper, um, the joint side, just cut a small square, and the child wears it. It becomes as a jacket. So in that jacket, maybe you can give them alphabets, and you can tell them you have 30 children, maybe 26 of them can wear all those. Others can shirt they wear. Then you can just call them k, a, t, s, cats. So you can join these children. Similarly, cat on the wall. You can have some sight words and some words, and you can tell them, make sentence, and everyone starts reading. So this way, these children also. So what happens? One is when we are doing such activities, all those children who already know, they enjoy and take part in the activity. And at the same time, those who doesn't know, they start playing, they start learning in the activity. So usually what happens when we start teaching those who don't know, one is those who know, they get bored, or they start making fun of them, or these children feel shy about it. So when we have these activity, the whole class starts learning. So that way you can have maybe a first standard, you will have small lessons or a paragraph. So you can give everyone as a word, and then you can call them one by one, and you can make those sentences. So this way the reading develops in the class.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
So even this newspaper jackets can be used for greater than, less than, numbers, number. You can have number and number names joining together, and you can have a word and picture joining together. So all these things. So this is something a easy resource, and it's available free of cost in the school library. All you have to do is you just have to take a marker, maybe a red, green, or a blue, black marker, and write it on that so that it's visible to the children. You need not buy a chart or things like that, and it's something very easy. And children love wearing those jackets and performing it. So it's very easy. You can have it. So this would
Okay,
really
ma'am.
help you in learning, developing learning in the children. Any other questions? Any questions? Any questions?
Bharti ji, we can summarize the things now.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Anita ji, you want to ask something?
No, ma'am, I joined little late, so I'm missing.
You joined very late,
Next
actually,
time.
not little late.
Actually, ma'am, I was looking for the link. I didn't get the link. Then I thought to ask from you.
This is a
Actually, I
short-term
dropped
course now. We don't give a link like this. This is the participants who register. Then only we create a group and send the link in the group only.
okay. I wasn't aware about this,
In
ma'am.
webinar,
Next time,
we
maybe.
add all the members. But in the short-term course, we have people who register. We only add those people.
So we
Okay,
just
ma'am.
wrap the session up. So
Yeah,
what
yeah, Bharati.
we are just seeing is the classroom management. Classroom management plays a vital role for the teacher, and that is actually the spine. So once you have the control of the class, so
Mm.
even the children feel comfortable, safe, and it's a positive environment. And at the same time, any observer from the outside, maybe your principal or the coordinator or from the management, they also know the classroom is happening and the teacher is having a good hand on the and the teacher is capable to control the class. So here it really plays a vital role. And we need to have a classroom management to create a safe, positive learning environment. And the children should be focused and engaged. And we should not uh, have too much of disruptions, and we should maximize the learning time. And the basic management skill, the classroom management skill is we should have set simple and clear rule, like we should listen when someone is speaking, we should raise a hand to answer, and we should wait for us. So these things we can make it as a contract, including the teacher or the children, they sign it, and including the teacher, the student, everyone follows it. So throughout the year, the classroom will maintain this discipline. And this also, and as teachers, we should build relationship. We should use students by their name. We should not call any nicknames. And we should try to learn student's name as quickly as possible. So for this, we can just have morning circle time where we talk, like we can say, like, we just say like, I am Bharati, I had aloo parathas breakfast in the morning, and then what did you have? So suppose you will have some child who say, I did not eat anything, or I had a glass of milk, then immediately as teachers we can say you should have something for breakfast, at least maybe a cornflakes or a banana, so that only when you have food for your stomach, your brain will also work and you can learn better. So in this way, we also see to it the child comes to school and has breakfast and all these things. And we also know the name. And then we say, I am Bharati, and today I'm feeling very happy because, like, I'm having a new pencil and I'm brought it to school. Or maybe today I'm very sad because I did not get my socks in the morning or something like that. So this, when we have these things for uh, a week or so, the teachers will also know about the children. They'll say, like, my mother helped me in this. So we'll know the children who are dependent, who are independent, and what is the name of the child and how is the child doing and things like that. And also they're a bit idea about their feelings, their emotions, and the effort which they take. And we always have to have certain routines and procedures, like we enter the class, we tell the children first, arrange your desk in the straight, make it straight, see to it the classroom is neat, and then open all your books. And suppose if you're starting a reading activity, like, you just say, all of you take your pointer, show your pointers, put your pointers up, take it down, and keep it on the word. Here we are beginning with reading, and we start reading with the pointers going on. So all these things will really the helps. And then we try to have, and since children, they don't have a very long focus, we just can have lots of activities like songs, games, group works, and we quickly change activities so that the children they are engaged, and every child is engrossed in the work, because some child might be very good in listening activity, some would be very good in painting, coloring, some would be in the activity where you have lots of movement, tactile, all these children. So we have activity for everyone. So this way, what happens? We keep the children actively in the class, and this saves time, and it also reduces the confusion. Every child is engaged, and we should be very clear. Any activity when we are giving, we give them the clear instructions. We don't give too long instructions. We keep it very minimum. We just give them the instructions, and then we ask the children what are we supposed to do, and they reply, they tell the instructions, so that we know they have all got it. And similarly, certain behaviors also, we give a non-verbal clues, like your eye contact, the way you talk. Or I usually tell, like, where I don't tell the children keep quiet, I just say, okay, this is mama giraffe. Mama giraffe is always silent. And how, if mama giraffe is here, and how should be the baby giraffe? They should also be silent. So the moment I show like this, the class gets silent. So we can have such small non-verbal clues, and we can always have a positive environment, like the seating order. Like suppose we can all, when we are having somewhere board, we can have the seating one after another. Sometimes we can make it a square, or sometimes we can group up 2 or 4 benches and give. So this morning, like, or before going home, we can have. So next day when the child comes, oh ma'am, today the benches are arranged like this. Are we going to have some group work? Are we going to have some craft activity? They are really very much into it. They were very much, they just curious. So what are we going to do? So like that we can just have. Then again, we will have some slow learners. We can pair with them in a peer group. And slow learners, we can put them, children, into small groups and say, like, in this line or in this row, everyone, if you finish it fast, you get a star. So table 1, table 2, table 3, let's see who gets the maximum star. Then they will see, oh, you have to write neatly, you have to write it quickly. And the children will take care, the peer support, that they have to complete it. So that also helps. Then how are we going to do the assessment? It's not necessarily like every time we give, say, today we have test or things like that. Sometimes we can have some activity games, and we can assess that in the class. So that also really helps. So children, they don't know like it is an assessment, and they do it. And having a circle time in the class. So when we have a circle time, so when we have the circle time, is actually the main aim of a circle time is to build respect, empathy among the learners. So the circle time, it really encourages equality. And that is a time where, including the teacher, everyone is at the same level. And we are focusing only on sharing, listening, cooperation, and reflection. And we don't say who is big or who is small. And then we create a safe uh, environment for sharing the feelings and ideas. So this way, like, and every day by the end, last 10 minutes, if we have a circle time, and we also know, like, today the child is not going with any bad mood, so that he goes to a home and says, like, this is what happened, and the parents come and argue. So whatever is the matter, we finish it in the class itself during the circle time. We speak to her. So we just set some rules in the circle time, like only one person talks. Maybe we can have a talking stick, talking cap, and whenever someone is talking, some child might not speak correct English or may not express properly. But the rule is, we should not tease anyone, we should not laugh at anyone. We should all listen and respect. Everyone participates, and no one is forced to speak. They just speak, and we keep it as much positive as we can. And we also have, for class 5 and 6, we can have activities like friendship and kindness, respecting difference, or eating habits, and all these things we can have in the circle time.
Yeah, Bharati
Thank
ji.
you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Any questions, any queries, or
Any questions?
yeah, any suggestion you would like to add here? Bharti ji, thank you very much for your time and efforts
Oh,
for such
thank
a
you.
practical and interactive training you have given us. I
Thank
think
you.
people have something they must have gained from this short-term course. Seema ji, are you there? Ruchi ji? Yeah, Bharti ji.
Yeah, thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Bharti ji, so much. Thanks a lot. Thank you everyone
Oh,
for joining us
thank
for
you.
the short-term course. And please give your suggestions and feedback in the feedback form, which we will sending in the group.
And if you want the PDF of maybe a classroom management activity or some soft skills, definitely I'll be
Yes.
sharing it with the man,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
can
please share
get
with
it.
me. I will share in the group.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Bharti ji,
Thank
for
you
your
so
time and
much for this
efforts.
opportunity. It was really nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah.